Hello from the dung heap, everybody. These are my friends. A lot of them.
Friends.
There he is. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
And we're live. Hello. SPTV. Hello. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all today. So here we are. What is it? Oh my God, just another manic Monday. Oh, I wish it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday was amazing. I had a really nice day yesterday. I decided it would be a good idea to visit some in real life people in my life. And so I went to my younger sister's house, my adopted sister. And I think I've told you all, if anyone's new to the channel, I have a sister who adopted 3 babies right out of the hospital, 3 consecutive years, and they are 2, 3, and 4 now. And oh my God, they're so cute. They call me Auntie Gaga, and I thought they would have forgotten me because I haven't seen them in like over a month, and they only live 15 minutes away. So they remembered me and they were just so cute. I'm a little tired today, a little sore because I was crawling around the floor and of course was changing diapers, but we were playing hide and seek and ring around the rosy and all the things. So I'm a little tired, but good news is I've been talking to you all about this whole sleep situation with me with the CPAP or the BPAP or what I don't know, BiPAP, whatever I call it. But last night, for the first time, I kept it on for a solid 6 hours, and I feel pretty good today. Besides being a little sore, I feel pretty good. So good to see you all coming in. Hey, Eric Rader, good morning. Good to see you. Oh, we got, the usual suspects. Yay. We got From a Poet, Clearwater Chatto, and this is the real one. Because there's like 4 of them around, but I know this is the real one because I gave him a wrench. So hey there. So yeah, it's been raining Chads instead of Cubs. And speaking of Cubs, I decided that I'd like to do a members only live stream tomorrow. I think I'm gonna make it a Q&A, and I got a couple of surprises up my sleeve. So if you're so inclined, it's $2.99 a month, and yeah, I'm going to do a little special stream. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it public. I might decide to make it public afterwards, but I want to connect with all the members and give, some content that are just for you, at least in the beginning. And it's going to be a little interactive. And like I said, I got some surprises. So if you want to join, now is a good time. So thank you to all the mods and the members that are here and everyone in the chat, everyone on the replay. Thank you so much. So, okay. This this talk's going to be a little all over the place, but as usual, I want to get your input, and I just had some things to just throw out to you and present and see what you think. So, yeah, so I talked about going to see in real life people, which I think is very important for me. And I want to, this is a little bit springboarding on something I said the other day about, things, certain phrases that sometimes trigger me that may not trigger other people. I've talked about certain things from my past that have been twisted, blown out of proportion, misrepresented. And we see it in Scientology all the time. Words like reasonable is a reasonable word, right? It's a bad word in Scientology. In Scientology, there's no such thing as children. There's no such thing as being a victim, which we know that those things are not true. Those things do exist, right? We know lots of children, and we know that people can be victimized, and we know that it's pretty good to be reasonable. So I mentioned something the other day about it sometimes triggers me, and I'll give you some examples when somebody who was a Christian, and in my case, it's usually I have relatives, like kind of distant relatives, that are ministers and people that are really, really into the God thing, like really into it, almost fanatical. And when they see me, they haven't seen me in a while. These are the phrases I hear. Oh, Marilyn, it's been such a long time. And you were usually in a church because we're at a wedding or funeral or some type of thing. Last time it was an adoption party. And I had a relative who is a minister, and he's pretty elderly. And he came up to me, he's like, Marilyn, I've been praying for you. It's so good to see you. And then he would say things like, I've been burdened for you, and the Lord has placed you on my heart. If I had $1 for every time I've heard, the Lord has placed you on my heart, especially coming from Marlene, that meant that I was in big trouble. It meant that I was in trouble. And I did not like hearing that. I did not like hearing, I've been praying for you. Or so it's the tone. It's not, I'm not attacking anyone who says I'll pray for you. I think it's wonderful if someone in the chat or someone comes up and says I have a sick relative, or I have this coming up that's really stressful, and people say sending good vibes, sending prayers and love and hugs. I think that's wonderful. And that's not what I mean. That's not triggering to me, but it's just the tone. Hey, Kelly. Hi, sweetie. Good to see you, honey. Yeah, it's just the tone and the intention behind it. And that's what I want to talk about is things like intention and letting people have their own space, letting people make their own mistakes, letting people do their thing, to each their own, right? And you may think that, like, you care so much about someone and you want to warn them, you want to talk to them about what you think works for you, and kind of I guess this is a Scientology word, impinge on someone, or I call it infringe on their rights. If you come on too strong, you're most likely going to get, some resistance, right? And you may mean well, but I think at some point you just have to let people be themselves. And as long as they're not hurting anyone or hurting you, and that's what I want to talk about, like different religions and different things that people do to each other, even in this space. I'm not mentioning names today. I don't want to get to each their own, right? I don't want to get into it. It's like I'm done. I'm done talking about it until I'm not. So don't. I don't want the trolls to be like, she said she's done talking about it. Give me something to talk about. I will, but I don't want to constantly be drudging this up, because I feel like, whether there are, yeah, okay, thank you, George. Whether there are different priorities for people in this space, different things that they think are the most important, second most important, third most, that's fine. That is totally up to everyone to decide. If their main thing is things like the protest movement, I think that's wonderful. That's not like on the very top priority of mine, because I can't get out there at this point and protest, but I support them. I support it. And I don't think that anyone's thoughts or agenda or anything it should be placed as a mandate for anyone. I'm not mandating anything. And I just want to be able to do my thing and have freedom. We're not in a cult. We're not in a cult. So to force our opinions of other people or what we think that they should be doing, if it's not hurting someone, then and I just respectfully ask the people, just leave me alone. I understand that, people think that my friendships are potentially damaging to me. I'm a big girl. I'm a very big girl, and thanks, but no thanks. Yes, little ones are the best medicine. Yeah, they really are. Just like my doggies. And there's a couple of things I want to show you. I wish I could show you pictures of the kids, but I'm not doing that online. That's not, yeah. And I know my sister wouldn't want me to. And, but they're cute. Trust me. They're very, 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 very cute. So where else did I want to go with this? Yeah, I just had some phrases down like if you want to make an impact on people, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, like I'm not telling anybody what to do. I feel like I'm learning all along and I'm making a lot of mistakes, but forcing your opinion on someone or saying that you care about them and then calling them names is not how you win friends and influence people. Remember that book? Yeah, it's not how to win friends and influence people. And in fact, unfortunately, there's a lot of friendships that are strained, if not lost, right now, and it's very sad. So, anyways, I got one of my favorite mugs today, a little loon with a baby. So, Zena, Marlene, everybody, good to see you all in here. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about, like I said, to each their own, respecting other people's boundaries, respecting their experiences and their own journey. Those are things that I've been thinking about as far as when I present to you some things that I are on my mind and in my heart. It's just take it or leave it. It's just for whatever it's worth. Here it is. I'm not pretending to be an authority on anything. I'm not a moral authority. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just me, and I'm just, like I said, just musing, just throwing things out there and see what you think, you know. So, um I wanted to talk about like different interpretations of things that people um, put out there as ways to live, things to believe in. There's so many things out there that you can explore, so many rabbit holes to go down, so many not very innocuous things, not damaging, but it's the world's your oyster, right? There's so many things out there. And I gotta say, it came up in my feed last night that Reese had gone to a church with Huxley. Huxley wanted to go to church, I guess, and she met somebody from Church of God. And I had heard about it. I knew some people that went there. I don't have one in my area, so I've never been to one, but I know a little bit about different various denominations. And believe me, it's not like Scientology, where Scientology has like source and it's pretty much the same across the board. You go to churches, even a church that's in its own, I'll call it franchise, in its own denomination, can be very different. But a lot of them have a certain way that they operate. And the Church of Church of Christ in it's Church of Christ, I think, in particular, they don't have instruments, which is really interesting. It's like all a cappella, and they believe that you can't take communion, which is the bread and the juice or wine in some cases, the body and the blood of Christ, unless you're baptized into that church, unless you're like a member of that church. And I know in Catholicism, I've gone to Catholic churches where they told me, you're not a Catholic, you can't do that, you can't take the Eucharist, because they believe that it's actually the blood, like it becomes the actual blood and body of Christ. And I'm not here, I'm not a theologian, I'm not here to debate the authenticity of that. That's not my thing. But at the same time, I think that everyone has a right to question, like, is this, you know? And Reese was talking about how she is really funny, guys. I mean, I would suggest watch this stream. It was hilarious, and I can't tell you how many times I was just dying because how he describes it. She was sitting there, and there was an older gentleman. You know how she likes the crusty older gentleman, and he seemed like really really nice at first, and then he went to pass the plate, and it had these little white. And I've seen the little white wafers that do. Some of them do look like Altoids, like the little tiny ones. And she's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "It's Christ, it's Christ." And then they were talking about the blood, and it was, oh my God, the Christ crackers. And I won't give it away, but it was really 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 funny. But it made me think though that, wow, like that, all of that stuff was so normal to me. Like, she was talking about the story of Nicodemus. She was calling him Nicotinus. And then someone in the chat was saying like, "Oh, well, Nicodemus climbed up the tree." I'm like, "No, that was Zacchaeus." And the king that was turned into a beast for 7 years, that was Nebuchadnezzar. And I'm like, "Oh my God, all of this is coming back to me. Like I remember all this stuff." And I felt like, correcting. Well, I actually wasn't live. I was watching the replay, but I wanted to correct everybody. And like, "Oh no, that's this." And I'm like, "All right, Karen, shut up." It's like talking to myself. Like, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Whether what the guys' names were. But yeah, it was just really in my head, and I was like, what do I actually believe, or what do I expect other people to believe? It is a little bit out there, to some people, and it's okay if people believe in that, but it's not everybody's thing. And I thought she made a very good point about how she going in there, she had no idea what this was, and she actually did listen, because a lot of the things she was saying are things that ministers would say, you know, um, and about the Apostle Paul. And I was like, oh, well, she did remember, she did retain a lot of it, but it is very confusing if you don't understand and know the backstory or the Bible or anything. And she said it's like a different language when you sit in a Scientology service. If you have never heard of Scientology and didn't know the language, you'd be like, what the heck? You know? Do Methodists require baptism? What's really funny is I actually commented on that stream and said, if you're looking for a kind of mainstream, church that has generally good music and kind of solid, Bible based, but not crazy religious and not really strict. My husband grew up Methodist, and it's very kind of like I was on, very methodical, but they have like a little worship team before they have their choir and all that. So they really have good music. They have, I think they have like somebody that does sign language, somebody that interprets. There's a group of, not, I can't remember what country they're from, but Spanish speaking countries, and they have a Spanish speaking minister that comes in and does a group lesson afterwards. So I thought that's really cool too. So it's, I don't think they really require anything that I know of. I don't know. No, I don't think they do. No. I think that's a pretty innocuous. Like when we left Door of Hope, the first church we went to was the church that Duncan grew up in, and it's an hour away, and we didn't join it or anything, but it wasn't bad. It was like familiar but not oppressive, you know. So I don't know. I liked it. I Yeah, I did like it, but I wouldn't, go there. Missionary Baptists do not allow music. Yeah, and that's strange to me, because you think of even the Old Testament songs. I think King David played a harp, so they had what, the lyre and the lute and the harp and the, yeah, all those. Oh no, yeah, I guess maybe some Methodists are different than others. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, because I feel like there's so many people from so many walks of life, so many religions, so many, different backgrounds, and non-religious people, people that have come out of religion that don't want to, and we all can we're all human, right? And we all can have a common ground. And one of them is we don't like cults, and we want to see Scientology lose its tax exempt status. We want to see them stop abusing people, start treating people like humans, stop violating their human rights. And my heart is for that, and also other cults as well. So yeah, and a lot of people believe that, and I tend to believe it. It's okay if someone doesn't, but um, El Sarmento says all organized religions are culty to some degree, more subtly than others, and I tend to agree with that. Um, I'm not saying that all religions are cults, but quite a few have some culty tendencies. Yeah, I that's how I believe. So, hey, Victoria, good to see you. Nice to see some new names. I love that. Hey, Sharona. I'm going to go back and read, but this is a new comment, but I'm going to go back and read the others. Those non-denominational mega churches that basically put on concerts every week seem to be appealing to the people who have left in their own denomination. Yeah, it's what comes to mind is things like Hillsong, which that was scandalous. But there's so many big churches. I just talked to a friend the other day who knows somebody that just all of a sudden like started going to this mega church, and their mannerisms changed, and their yeah, just their language changed, and it was just kind of alarming. It's like, what is happening, But I think pretty much any organization that you join, you need to be careful, because you have control over your mind, your will, your emotions, your money, your time, all that. And I have found, even when we left Door of Hope and we joined a local church, it was like, oh, there's a live one. So all of a sudden I was making casseroles and teaching lessons, and being there all the time, and volunteering work, and in the choir, and in this and that. And I was like, wait a minute, this is overtaking my life. Do I really want to put this much into it? No. And the money thing too, it's like, oh, I don't know, the guilt I just think that people need to do their thing, right? To each their own. All right, I'm going to go through some of the start, and let me scroll back up. All right. Okay. Hey, Asen, great to see you today. Mods, I understand the subs only option is to deter trolls from, shit posting right away. But are the 5 minutes enough to deter them properly? So, well, today is not a particularly spicy stream. So they might get bored and go away after 5 minutes. And if I have something that I really don't want any interruptions, and it's something, extra spicy to say, extra hard for me to say, I tend to put it on like 20 minutes. I mostly do put it on subscribers only now, because, and even if it's just not, anytime, just hit the subscribe button, because I think that there's a lot of bots and a lot of trolls that just will kind of hop around. And I think this slows them down at least. And we have fabulous mods in here as well, so that will help us. Yeah. He said, are we sure Clearwater Chad is Clearwater Chad and not Xenu or some other alien? He seems to clone himself. I know, it's like 4 of them now. It's wild. It's so funny. Hey, Coltsby Colton. Hey, sweetie. Good to see you. You still have a wrench, because I'm not taking it away. I'm just saying right now, I just absolutely love you. Whenever you can come in. If you want me to take away, I will, but I just love you. Good to see you. Hello, all. I've been here, but have been too busy listening. Right? Well, hey, so good to see you. One sec, guys. I need to get a little drink of water. Let's do a quick Xenu Marlene. Everybody partake. All right. Hey, Asen, comment, I pray for you in a condescending tone, right? When I say I'm an atheist and I hear that, I feel triggered too. Other triggers for me but they are family, mother, father as an excuse. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that not everybody's experience is positive, even with their immediate family, So I really try to be sensitive to that. And it's okay, at least to me, it's okay if someone misspeaks or triggers me accidentally and they're not meaning to be condescending or pressuring me. But I get what you're saying. It's funny that I've had that on both ends, because just assuming that, oh, well, they're family, or, oh, they're this or that. So you have to, right? Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And you have to do this. No, you don't have to do anything. And there's also, the family guilt, but also like the adopted thing too. It's like, you should be so grateful that you could be out on the street right now. You could have ended up with no family. So an adopted family there was some issues and some abusive stuff going on with some good stuff as well. They met well and all that. But just because they adopted you doesn't mean that you are beholden to them for the rest of your life and that you have to do anything. And that was really hard for me to come to grips with, because just give myself permission to take a step back or to put up boundaries when I needed to. Um, Granny G, I usually just send love and hugs unless I know the person believes in prayers. Yeah, there you go. That makes total sense. Absolutely. Hey, Professor K. Khan. I just started using CPAP, trying to get the best breathing fit. Yeah. Yeah, it's been, let's see. I think tomorrow will be 3 weeks for me, and it's been a long haul. It's been the first week I think I could only tolerate like an hour at a time. So in like an hour a night, and I would just be like, "Oh, I can't." And the fit, like I was surprised that I had to go back and fit it again, and that I was so small, which I've never been a small anything. Maybe when I was younger, but in high school. But yeah, they put that on, and the first one didn't really fit. I tried it for a couple nights and it wasn't working. So I came back on another one. And then like keeping the balance of like where to adjust it, the amount of air, you might need a different what do you call it, pressure, and just keeping the humidifier filled and keeping it clean and all that. Yeah, it's been a huge learning curve. But last night I was able to keep it on for 6 hours. So I was and I'll tell you, gummies don't hurt. I took a gummy, and that did help to kind of relax me, which is not usually my thing, but lately, whatever. Whatever helps, right? Whatever works. Hey, Joel, good to see you. Thank you for being here, friend. Hey, Joel McGuire. When people meet me, they probably think I'm crazy, but after you get to know me, then they realize I'm just nuts. All right, yeah, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're just nuts. That's not true. You are not nuts. Julie Markham, the Church of God scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. I'm Lutheran and wasn't used to that kind of service. Yeah, Church of God is Pentecostal, I believe, right? Church of Christ is the one that doesn't have instruments. Yeah, it's all confusing. It might not be a bad idea. I could actually ask, um, our friend Mark Torrey. He knows a lot about different denominations and different sects, SECT of Christianity. So if you all are interested, let me know, because I would like to. And again, not an expert, not I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want anybody to say I'm picking on their particular denomination, but yeah, it might be a good idea to. I'm fascinated with that. I think it's interesting. Dr. MLS, there are thousands and thousands of Protestant sects. I believe it. Yep. Right, because Protestant is a word for pretty much non-Catholic, right? So you had the original church, the Catholic Church, and the Roman Catholic Church, and then you had Martin Luther, who I forgot the name of it. Okay. I don't want to misspeak. So I'll just say you had Martin Luther. And that's where the Protestant movement came out of. And so you had Lutherans and Baptists and all of them, right? All the non-denominational churches, Episcopalian and everything, all the things come out of that. So there's a lot of home churches. There's a lot of cults, unfortunately. There's all kinds of denominations and sects, SECT. Hey, Judy Chang, I'm grateful for finding a very progressive Roman Catholic house church. My church community is very diverse. There you go. I like it. That's good. All right, just unstarring some things. Jason, I only know some of those old Bible names from the Matrix movies. You know what? I have a confession to make. I've never seen them. I like the psychological mindfuck of it all kind of scared me when I was, of course, all those movies came out when I was in the cult. And the other night, a friend has suggested that I watch Single White Female. That was so creepy. It was so scary. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle this, But Duncan and I have talked about watching the Matrix movies, and I think we need to. So if I can handle that movie, I think I can handle the Matrix. But I know it's going to be really creepy. But yeah, I was solidly in the cult in the 90s and the early 2000s. So, oh, Julie Markham, I had to go through confirmation before I could take communion. Yeah, and that's Catholic, right? Dr. MLS, the only reason I went to that Methodist church was for the music. They were all New York City musicians. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I bet. You know what's cool is usually around the holidays, we'll go to Duncan's old church that he grew up in. It's a, what do they call it? United Methodist UM Church. Maybe it's UMC, United Methodist, and they around the holidays they always have the bell ringers. You ever seen that? Where they got a whole line of bells and they have music and they have like they have these little gloves and they pick up the bells and they're all like all coordinated. It's very cool. I like watching that. And there's something about that church. It's like pretty there's not that many people that go there regularly, but it's huge. It holds thousands of people potentially. But it's beautiful. You go in and it's just like, oh, you feel so small. So I can imagine, people picturing like God kind of like inhabiting it, watching over it, because it is very majestic, So it's very cool. Hey, Amber, comment. When my son was about 5, he went with a friend to church. If you know me, I was raised in Scientology, so I never went to church. So my son drank the holy water and got mono. Oh no. Oh no. You know, something that Reese said about Huxley, like it made a good point where Huxley was just like, I'm not drinking that. It's like, yeah, all these like little open, I remember those little cups that they would, have you like take a shot of. And yeah, people are breathing on, it's like being passed through the entire congregation till it gets to you. And it's like people are like breathing on it and touching it. There's no tongs in the little bread, the Christ crackers dish. Yeah, so thanks. And when she was saying that, like I still to this day have a hard time like even making fun of anything like that because I'm like looking for the lightning bolts, like, oh my goodness, like, oh, that's sacrilegious. But yeah, I don't know. It's like again, to each his own. I think I can kind of joke about it now because it was so traumatic at the time, a lot of the things that I went through. And laughter is the best medicine for me, at least. No disrespect to anyone who does believe that. It's just, yeah, it's a coping mechanism for me, at least. Yeah. Hey, old Frizz. Always makes me cringe when people sing and play pop type music in church. We had a guitar playing none, much snickering and toe curling. Yeah, I have seen we had my sister used to go to a church that had like a worship team that would play like drums and yeah, it just sounded like rock music, but it was not. It was like different words. And I've heard Christian rap, Christian metal. When I was a teenager, I loved, groups like Bon Jovi and Motley Crue and all that. Of course, I wasn't allowed to listen to them, but there was a Christian. I don't know if any of you ever heard of Striper. How they ever like made it into mainstream Christian circles is beyond me because they were, dressed up in all the kind of the Kiss looking garb and stuff, and they were acceptable to a lot of Christian circles. My parents weren't, my mother wasn't really into it as much, but at least if I got caught listening to that, it wasn't as bad as getting caught listening to secular music, the devil's music, you know. Julie, I usually keep my beliefs to myself unless someone asks me about it. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a good policy. Yeah. ASIM for me, Judaism, Christianity, and then Islam are the same book with updates. Uh, how to behave in society. Expect people to change them again and again to their advantage. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's and even before the Bible or the Quran or any of those were written and circulated, there were several things like passed down throughout the ages that were similar, that were we had talked about that with Mark Torrey a few weeks ago about origin stories kind of having overlap and being similar and coming from not those religions or but other like Greek mythology and other traditions. So it's interesting, something to think about. Mhm. Old Frizz, I'm generally anti-religion, but instilling guilt isn't always a bad thing. Guilt can be your conscience. Many people nowadays don't seem to have one. Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. Steve Sperry, gonna end up with a cult of Clearwater Chads at this rate. I know, my goodness. There's a lot of them. Yeah, Galen 209. Hey there. I was thinking last night that it would be hard for a person to go into a Christian church and try to understand it. I felt bad for Reese. Yeah. Yeah. And she said the minister kept saying, "As you all know," and she's like, "No, we don't all know." And having somebody kind of to interpret it, I think makes a lot of sense. When I remember going to a culty-ish church, as a kid and a teenager, and they would have Sunday school. And Sunday school was more of a time where you could ask questions and kind of learn a little more of the basics. But I remember there was like a new Christian Sunday school. There was like a singles Sunday school or something. I don't know. That sounds a little interesting, but yeah, there's all different types of Sunday schools, different levels, I guess. So, old Frizz, out of sheer habit, I will say, night, God bless, love you to my grown kids. We're all non-believers, but my parents always said it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He said, yes, be grateful is another one that makes me angry. Yeah. My mother said that for simple things like feeding and clothing us when we criticized her, she expected praise for things that should be normal. Right. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like my kids, they didn't ask to be born. I chose to bring them into this world, and it was my responsibility to take care of them when they're little, right? To feed them, clothe them, and make them feel loved and teach them, right? Granny G, back in the day before the internet, I had put my daughter in a private Missouri synod school. Is that Jewish? I'm not sure what that is, what denomination that is. Is that Jewish? Definitely not a good fit, but it was kind of stuck. They destroyed her faith. Oh boy. Jencel, the video Blitzer asks atheist if she thanks God. Cheers me up. It's nice to see CNN leaves it up. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Sin K, I went to the Church of Christ a couple of times. It was quite different from what I was used to. Yeah, I've never been to one, but I've heard about them. And they seem probably a little bit fundamental, like not, we're not talking like independent Baptists or really, strict super culty, but it does sound pretty strict. Yeah. I don't know what their thoughts are on women or things like that, but yeah, it sounds like they're pretty literal in a lot of their translations. So Jennifer Jerome, hey there. Can you maybe do an episode on narcissists versus sociopath? I could do that. Yeah. I again, not an expert, but there are quite a few videos and resources out there. I have been looking into a lot of them, so maybe we could play some clips and have some people on who would know. I know that Farrell Cheryl she touched on it the other day, and in as much as her own experience of being raised by a mother who had who was a narcissist. So I don't know if she was diagnosed with it, but sounds like she definitely had it. So that's yeah, I guess we can just talk about experiences and things that we've learned about it. Oh yeah. HG Tutor is another really good resource for that, but I can't play any clips of his because I'm sure I'll get dinged for that. So, but yeah, we could definitely visit that. Sounds good. Oh, Fred, I always thought Protestants came about because of Henry the Eighth. Yeah, I guess that's just Church of England. Yeah, that was Church of England. Yeah, it was be considered Protestant, right? I I don't know if all Protestant denominations would be under that Martin Luther King or not Martin Luther King, Martin Luther umbrella, um, or not. I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about that. Again, our friend Mark Curry probably does. So Lutherans are similar to Catholics. That's probably because the church was founded by Catholic. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And yeah, they just have a little more leniency with like the priesthood being married and things like that, as far as I know. Oh, Fres, Maryland, Catholics have first confession before communion, not confirmation. That comes later, about 11, 12. Okay. First communion, you mean? First communion. Yeah, aren't they around 6? I remember they wear all the little, like, little bride-looking dresses, little girls. Yeah. Jill McQueen, I've said this before, church is a business, follow the money. There is a difference between faith and church. I have faith, but no church for me. Faith is a personal thing, church is a money thing. I can't argue with that. Yeah. And in a lot of I don't think in every case, but in a lot of cases, yeah. And just when you go into a church and if the emphasis seems to be on money or a lot of the emphasis is on money, yeah, that's definitely a red flag. Yeah. Asen, I don't believe, but I love the majestic buildings. Here in Cologne, we have the Cologne Cathedral and that old girls of beauty, I bet. Yeah. I just love old buildings. And even here, even the not, buildings that aren't really churches or anything, there's just all these like old Victorian kind of mansions in the town near ours, and the old library, the newish library that has had a big addition on it was a mansion of somebody rich in town, and then I think the first mayor, his last name was Houghton. There's a something called the Houghton Mansion, and it's believed to be haunted. I think it is because I went into a ghost tour in there and it was creepy. And the stories that came out of that family were creepy. Yeah. And now I don't know who bought it, but it has like a Masonic temple on the back of it, and it's just giant. I'll have to get some pictures of it and show it to you sometime because it really is a point of interest around here. I think it's very, very cool. Hey, Tommy Tone Toontown, great to see you. Hasn't seen you in a while. Great to see you again. I'm a Bible college grad, uh, Bach Bible Studies, and I quit going to any organized church years ago. My family had, SA experience. No, that's awful. I'm so sorry. Done to them that the leadership refused to deal with. Sad. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is very common in uh, religious circles. Not all, but again, it's something to absolutely look out for. When I was a kid, the church that we went to, somebody pretty high up in the church I've told this story before, I babysat for, and yeah, I knew for a fact that he was no good, and I tried to warn my parents. they didn't listen to me, and turns out that he was essaying a lot of the neighborhood kids and ended up in jail. When I was an adult, I heard about it and I was like, "Oh my God, I wish I could have stopped it," you know? So, there's so many stories like that, unfortunately, coming out of churches. So when I got older and had my own kids, I would never let them alone with an adult, even in church. I just couldn't do it. Because I knew what potentially could happen. Hey, Maria, good to see you from Greece. First one who became Christian was the emperor of the East Roman Empire. Oh, Constantine? I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Byzantine, right? I've heard about like Byzantine monks, things like that. Yeah, apostles send gospels in Greece first, then Rome became Christians. Right. Um, and the New Testament was either written in or translated into Greek, right? Because I remember going into Door of Hope with the first purchase I made was a giant, thick Hebrew Greek study Bible, and the all the lexicons that we got. Oh my God, I don't even know what we did with those. I wonder if we still have them in the attic. I'll have to ask Dunk if we have any of those old books, but the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars we spent on those study books. Ugh, yeah. I never knew there was Christian rap. I know from Creed as a Christian rock band, though. Okay, Christian rap. What was his name? Oh boy. Okay, I'll have to look that up and tell you because yeah, I used to have an album, Christian rap album. What was it called? My kids might even know. Yeah. Dr. MLS, the group AVB is a good Bible-based a cappella group of 5 guys with amazing voices. I bet. I love a cappella. It's very cool. All right, lots of comments. I'm just going to jump into the live chat for a little while. Say hi to some people I haven't seen in a while. So, oh, thank you, Giorgio, for putting this up. Help support a mama bear and become a cub. Awesome. Yes, thank you. And for those that have just joined the live stream and didn't hear, I'm planning on doing a members only Q&A live stream. I've got some plans. I've got some surprises planned. So I'm hoping to do that tomorrow. So kind of keep your eye out for that. And if you want to become a member, there's the link. And yeah, check that out tomorrow. Hey, Swedish Andrea, good to see you. James Steele, hi there. Peter Anderson, I think I already said hi to Granny G and Old Frizz. See ya. We got Julia. Hey there. A girl. Good to see you, a girl. She's just lovely. Hey, pause for Andrea. And of course, Kelly Copter's here. And Eric Rader. See you. Force of Delightful Nature. Hi there. Who else we got? Mayor 924. Good morning. Good morning. Dawn Gloves. Or as Cricket would say, Dawn Gloves. I love how she says that. I gotta ask her where she's originally from. Cece, hey there. Oh, membership for iPhone. Yeah, I think George just put that in there. So that should work for that. If not, let us know. Let's see. Jen Sell, good to see you. All right. Anybody I missed? Hi there. So glad you're here. All right. Do you know about what time you'll do the members live? I'm thinking maybe around this time, around 12:30 Eastern or so. I was doing earlier, like 10 o'clock streams, but it's just hard, especially with this whole, sleep apnea thingy going on, trying to get enough sleep with that mask. I've been, falling back to sleep. So Oh, Pentatonics is my favorite a cappella. Nice. Hey, Adira, good to see you, friend. Yeah. Asen, love the voices of your boys, Marilyn. Would love to hear them sing River of Deceit by Mad Season. All right. Yeah, text me that because maybe you have. Have you sent that to me before? I'll have to show it to them. Getting them to do anything I suggest is like pulling teeth, but if I say it's one of my viewers, maybe they will do it. Yeah, Striper. You did? You listened to Striper? More because of the music than the message. Yeah. Album covers or something else. I know. I'm trying to think of what song. They had like some really like kind of hard rock type songs, but I remember there was one, I think it was called Honestly, 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 I believe in you. Do you trust in me? Yeah. Something like I believe in you. Do you trust in me? It's supposed to be like God saying something to you. But yeah, I like that song. I still like that song. I haven't listened to it in many years, but um, all right. Asen, when you think of it, prayer is a meditation, relaxation of mind, not eating pork back in the day, no fridge, pork gone bad, ritual washing, hygiene. Yeah, Muslim prayer, sports. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, prayer and meditation are very similar, and that's another thing that I thought was really strange is I got out of, that brand of religion that I grew up in and, out of Door of Hope as well, and thinking about the similarities of it's almost like semantics because we were taught that meditation was terrible, was bad, yoga was bad, all those were bad, but it's like, is it much different than they've got prayer and you got meditation. Is that much different? To me, doesn't really seem so. But it was like the source of it. Meditation's bad because that's like an Eastern religion. Yoga is really bad, but you can stretch, you can do stretching, you can do physical activities, but you can't do things that might seem like it's coming from another quote source, which will be the devil, Yeah. And another thing I have always thought was really strange too is looking back and seeing how I went to these, they call them conventions, and they were like these really big gatherings of like Christians, a lot of young people, and they'd have the music going and they'd have the drums and they'd have all the people praising God and with their hands up in the air and jumping up and down and having this kind of working you into like this state, this euphoric state, right? And you'd leave feeling like touched by God, right? But then when I, you know, decided not to be a Christian anymore and went to like a concert or another gathering like that, I left feeling the same way in listening to the devil's music, right? So yeah, it's really interesting because I was thinking, you know, are is that really God that talked to me? Or is it really like that experience I had? Was was it just the chemicals in my brain? It's hard to say. I don't know. And again, I'm seriously wondering. It's not like I'm picking on any religion. I'm just seriously, intrigued by it and just wondering. Oh, hey, we'll be able to be with you tomorrow. You know what? Let me look and see if I can go on and I'll give some gifted memberships. Says too many gift memberships. So YouTube says, oh, well, let's see. Let's see what I can do. I wish I could assign them, but I guess when you give them out, they just uh, randomly give them. Hopefully they won't go to any polls. But yeah, one sec, guys. Oh, wrong thing. Just want to see if it lets me do it. Okay. I wish I could play some music to. Okay, gifting. Here we go. Okay. It says I can give. Um, there we go. There's 5. I'm going to give 5 more. Well, let me give 5 at a time, I guess. And did it work? There we go. I think it worked. Let me know. Yay, I see the seal claps. Okay, so some came out. Good. Awesome. Looked like it worked. So yay, I got new cubs. I'm excited. I love it. It's raining cubs. Hallelujah. Awesome. Okay. All right. So then we got 10 more for tomorrow. That's amazing. Seal claps. Yeah. So yeah, I can read a few more of the comments, but this has been really fun. I've got some things I want to show you before we wrap up. They worked. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Oh, just an FYI, if you're using a YouTube brand account, you aren't eligible to receive gifts. Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about that before. I'm not sure what that is about, but made it ring. I'm not a god. Hi, Eva Blue Eye. Good to see you. Awesome. Dr. MLS, you're right about it's either God or some other source, which is the devil. There's that black and white thinking. Yes, exactly. Right. No in between. I know. It's like if you think of it as a kid or a teenager growing up in that, and then you start to go to school and you hear about these other things that are very similar and you ask and it's just like nope, nope. And, it's that black and white thinking. It's like just shut you down, and then it sets up the cognitive dissonance and you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, and hopefully you can break out of it. Ancient Greek, that's what I thought. Tommy Toontown. New Testament was originally written in ancient Greek. Old Testament was originally in ancient Hebrew. Right. Yep. That's why. Thus, I had the Hebrew Greek lexicon. And yeah, half of it was in Hebrew, half of it was in Greek. Don Gloves, RN. So I got some good sound advice from an RN. Thank you, Don. Marilyn, try practicing with the CPAP for a few hours at a time during the day while you're crocheting. It'll help you get used to it. Okay, yeah, I got to remember to do that. And I got to actually calm myself down and crochet more too. So, oh my God, my Sharona, my Sharona. Thank you so much. 5 more. Yay, 5 more cups. It's raining cups. Hallelujah. It's raining cups. Amen. Thank you so much. So excited. All right. Sorry, I'm just going through some comments here. Tommy Toontown, most Christian churches have lost the quote teaching aspect of ministering to the congregation. Social prosperity, purpose-driven, and fire and brimstone seem to be what they focus on now. Very, very good point. Yeah, I could see that a lot of the denominations, especially when you see on TV the mega churches and things, as instead of getting down to the basics, right, back to the basics, talking about the teachings and everything of the Bible, it's more the working up of the emotions, the prosperity, the hellfire and brimstone is pretty much scare tactics, scared straight. Yeah, that's a very good point. Oh, it's type of Lutheran. Okay. Women, Missouri, Synod is a type of Lutheran. Women can't give devotions. Babies are born the natural enemies of God. Yeah. Um, It was a little bit like that in our church. I mean, we did believe in like the sin nature. Everybody was born bad, and women were not to be leaders. They could be Sunday school teachers, but yeah, they couldn't do much in the churches. That is true. Oh yeah. I found that out like a few months ago. It's got to build because I give them all out, and then all of a sudden I was able to give out 10. If you go like while you're live, I just went on YouTube and gave like gifts as if I was, just in the chat. And actually, I can show you. Um, okay, so yeah, that's my live stream. And can you see? Yeah, okay. And I just went down to this and then did membership gifting. And so yeah, it said I had 10 left and I gave 5 and then another 5. And then this would be you've gifted all of your 10 free charge memberships this month. So I gifted them. Yep. So I hope that helps. And I want to show you some other stuff. I'm excited. So if you have Facebook account and you haven't joined the Coffee Cults and Crafts group yet, I want to just show you. Share this tab instead. So this is the group on Facebook. It's sometimes really active and sometimes not so active, but I love to check it at least a few times a week. And I'll show you some things going on. So we've got some pictures. Those are my pumpkins. That's Rocky. Last night, they were just staring at me in the kitchen. They were sound asleep, and then as soon as I got up to go to the bathroom after midnight sometime, they were following me around, just staring at me. And then Nancy Alley, amazing lady. She always posts our lives. And we got Asen. Aw, I was strong this year. Next year I'll be happy. That's awesome. Thank you. Peter Johnson. 14 muscles are activated when you pour a cup of coffee. There you go. So we talk about coffee, cults, and crafts. There's a lot of crochet talk and crafting and all that going on. So if you want to join that, that would be amazing. What else we got? And this I wanted to show you from my hubby's YouTube channel. He just took down some what do you call it? Staging. Oh, let me go back here. Here we go. Yeah, so he took down the staging, and this is his video that he did yesterday. I will skip through it a little bit if you don't mind. And so his channel is at Freeze and Eagle. If you want to join, it'd be awesome. And I'll play some of this for you.
Hello, folks. It's Duncan with Freeze and Eagle at the A-frame build. I just wanted to do a little check-in video. I'm pretty psyched. Got most of this week free to work on the build, and it's a beautiful, beautiful week after our cold snap. So the mornings are cold, but once the day gets going, it's just beautiful. So anyway, I've had a few days to kind of work alone this week, and I wanted to jump on this dormer. So today I actually got on this dormer and went up and did some work on the soffits. I wanted to put some stained wood up there while I had staging up. So the last time you saw a video of this, there was staging sticking out of this, so you couldn't really see it too well. So what I did yesterday is stain up some boards. I'll try to zoom this in. Sun swung around where it's kind of light behind me. So up in there, there is some wood that I installed.
I'm just going to skip around a little bit.
Wood 6 and 8 inches wide. So I took a bunch of pieces and stained some of them up with a really nice stain called candlewood that nicely matches the Doug fir. So any of the Douglas fir. But anyway, that's an outside look at this dormer. Very pleased with it. And now the roof on this whole side is completely done. So let me zoom back out here so you can see the roof looks really nice. It's nice to see brand new shingles and this side all done. So what I'm going to do, just want to check this out. Okay, yeah, the roof looks really good. It's settling down. We've had a little warm weather, so once the sun hits the roof and heats it up, it melts together, becomes far more durable than it normally would be. Because those tabs on the bottom of every shingle basically there.
So when he goes to the
And
front,
then we'll have a look at the dormer from the upstairs. I've been enjoying the little bitty loft I put up there. It makes a nice little break room.
so if you look at this is the south facing, it's technically going to be the front, even though the driveway that you see the back when you come in from the driveway, but this will be you can see the frame there for the slider and the windows. And then this is the first floor, and it's going to be like a great room. We've got the living room, dining area, and kitchen off to the side. And there's going to be a bathroom and a bedroom on this side of it. And there's technically, there'll be 3 levels, four levels with the full basement. But he shows the loft, I think. He goes up the ladder. So I'm not going to play the whole thing because you can go to his channel and see the whole
got
thing.
Things everywhere. And one other thing we did, Al and I put the floor joists up for the little loft that's going to be up outside the bedroom. We began to put some of this wood down. Then I realized I really want to stay.
So there'll be a balcony, an open balcony on the second floor as you come up the landing at the top of the stairs, and then the master bedroom and second bathroom will be closed in, and then there's a ladder going up to a third story loft, just a little loft, like a lookout, like a widow's peak kind of thing.
So
Widow watch,
these
is
are
that what they
some
call it?
boards. These are extra boards for this outer soffit. So the outer part, actually, I'm going to do the front first.
Yeah, so I think he
goes
goes up. Yeah, he goes upstairs.
Side, so it'll be
Shows all that.
matching colors.
That's where he has his lunch.
I got my little. It's quite satisfying to see this.
Yeah, so that's
actually without staging.
all right. So just want to show you that. What else did I have? Oh, that's the shirt that I'm wearing. That's funny. Anyways, yeah. Anybody wants to order it? It's on Amazon. $19.99. I'm not getting paid for that. It just happened to be up. But yeah, so I want to show you all that, my puppies and all the things. Hey, that's what she said. I'm spiritual. I believe in being kind to others and to animals. Not sure what that makes me. A good human. That's what I think it does. Yeah. No, he does not. That is a fact. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's going to be another dormer on the other side, a smaller one, but with the part where the kitchen will jut out a little bit, and we'll have like a little bay window or something under this to kind of look out that side. So yeah, it's quite the project. Widow's Walk. Okay, thank you. That's what it is. I had widow in it. Dr. MLS, this makes me think about studying comparative religion. It's really fascinating. I definitely want to have Mark Turi on again. I love to talk to him about that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's going to be a great place to crochet in. Absolutely. And Kelly was there before they even broke ground, before anything had been dug. Like they did the clearing of the land and then a little bit of a driveway. And when Kelly visited, she was holding a string and driving stakes into the ground with Duncan, and orienting how the foundation was going to be, what direction it was in. So yeah, it was fun. And so that was in April. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So yeah, 6 months later, here we are with a lot going on. He's doing an amazing job. Yeah, he's definitely driven. I mean, he's up there right now. And yeah, it's so cool to see the progress every day, even. Hey, slide naps. Hey there. You should ask HG Tutor if you could use a few short clips. He often does collaborations with people. Yeah, I guess they can't hurt. I mean, I could email him. Yeah, it can't hurt. I mean, I could tell him that, uh, that I did some collabs with Doug and I really enjoy. Yeah, it's worth a shot. I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm like blushing because, like, I don't know, it's like I feel like funny about it because I'm not really, I don't know. Yeah. May danger. I'm trying to convince my husband to add a turret to our new to us 70 Rambler. There we go. Yeah. Hey, Raquel. Great to see you, friend. Hey, Scientology up north. Hey, Miriam. So glad you're here. Julia, I love my comparative religion class in college. Yeah, I've never been to college, but oh yeah. Oops. Hey, what was I gonna click on? Where is it? Oh, HG had a soft spot for Doug after all. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. Why are you so hesitant if he says no? I guess I'm sort of afraid of him. I don't know. It's like approaching the Cyclops or something. I'm just like, excuse me. Hi. I don't know. I am a little bit afraid of him. Oh, that's reserved. Yeah, the A-frame for next foliage season. Yeah, it's definitely a, a a big goal of ours to have it done because I'm going to be decorating it. I'm really excited about it, and I'm just putting it out there to any friends or anybody that wants to contribute in any way. I would love like just a little handmade thing I could put in it. So I have some friends and family members, like one like Austin's girlfriend she's an artist and she's going to do a little painting for it. I have a viewer that's saying she might make a quilt for it. So I'm really excited. Yeah. I just think it'd be so cool to have handmade crafts in it. Yeah. So let's reserve it. Yeah. Nothing to fear but fear itself. I know. I know. That's why I'm just honest with you guys. I just, yeah, just a little different. Right. Looks just a little different. Oh, thank you, Stace. You can find Duncan there. Freezing. He's already up to 400 subscribers and he doesn't really, promote. Like I mean, I'll mention it once in a while, but he's been getting some outside views because I guess A-frames are like a big thing now. And if you look them up, most of them have like metal roofs and are more just very modern looking. So to have like a throwback one with the hunter green architectural shingles and all the kind of throwback features of a 70s one, I think, yeah, that's really cool. You know what I would love to have is like back in the day, my little sisters, I think we had two of them. You remember the little people, the chunky ones that they don't sell anymore, but they used to have like A-frames. And I was like, oh, that would be really cool to have one of those throwback like A-frames, like the little people, Fisher Price. I mean, we could even put it in the basement for like kids to play with or something, but that would just be so cool. I don't know. It'd be cool to have like a little model one too. That was kind of similar to this. I'll have to look into that. I bet Austin, because my son Austin, he's doing these little model ships like just out of his brain and garbage and popsicle sticks. And I think I've shown them too. I've asked him to make a Mayflower for the A-frame. So, studying different cultures, yeah. All right, so where we're at, a little bit over an hour. I hope I covered all the things. Please, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the description below or the comments below on the video. And you can always email me at Coffee Cults and Crafts. And so, yeah, have a great day, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. Xenu Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, you know, my hubby makes the coffee.
Like a